from the people that I've been speaking with the entire morning is that they do worry that Vladimir Putin, on the one hand, is saying, I have no intention of hurting Ukrainians, but of course, on the ground, it's a very different picture. And everything that we've seen so far from the language, but also the military actions from Russia are escalating. They also worry that Russia is trying to form or force a conversation about nuclear. Vladimir Putin talked about nuclear deterrence yesterday. His foreign minister repeated that. And today, of course, we have those terrible pictures that really shocked a lot of Europeans this morning. One official told me this is now playing with fire, and this is now serious on that front. So we have to be very careful. But NATO today also concerned about escalating in any way.
Maria, what is the trajectory of this war? It's a completely unfair question, but I'm going to go with it. What is the trajectory of the war this weekend? There's a nuclear plant. There's another one to the west-northwest, X number of miles, and beyond that, there's another one way northwest, and then another one past that. What's the trajectory of the war, the land grab, this weekend?
Well, it's get to the capital and take control of the entire country. And as you say, we're seeing this from pretty much every point around Ukraine. Ukraine is completely trapped from pretty much every angle. We see that the Russians have not been able to take over the big cities, but that is the next big plan. And of course, Vladimir Putin saying we have an operation that's, quote, going according to plan, repeating, it is my conviction that Ukrainians and Russians are the same people, and we continue on a mission. Remember, Tom, in Russia, the word war is not allowed. It is banned. You have to talk about a special operation to free up Ukraine from Nazis. And just very quickly also, Tom, there is a cultural aspect to this. The word Nazi in Russia is very politically charged. It is a very terrible insult when you use this. It goes back to the history of the Second World War. It goes back to the great Stalin victory. When you use this word, it really dehumanizes the other person. To say you're a Nazi, it just means you're a terrible person. And of course, the government of Russia, in Vladimir Putin's eyes, is on a mission to get rid of this. Of course, we know the reality on the ground, again, as I said, is very different. And the Ukrainians did vote in an election for Zelensky to be the president, who is now, by the way, an icon in the country.
Meanwhile, Emily, President Biden has said everything is on the table, including sanctions on oil. And I'm wondering how much we know about reporting that Biden is encouraging domestic producers to actually pump more so that they can provide a buffer if we should go further in terms of the sanction front.
Well, there's absolutely pressure on President Biden to go further. I mean, you heard Speaker Nancy Pelosi during her presser yesterday, when she was asked about it, she did not mince words. She said, I'm all for it, ban it. And then we saw that bipartisan effort coming forward with actual legislation to have it banned. And then besides Biden's own party, he is under pressure from oil executives who say you need to move up the production of shale, that the U.S. does need to work on becoming more energy independent right now. They know it's not going to happen overnight, but there needs to be a plan in place. At this point, we haven't seen the White House budge too much on this issue. They've said that they're worried that any sort of ban can wind up hurting the economy, hurt Americans at the pump. I mean, gas prices are a major consideration for President Biden. It's something that's very much on his mind and the mind of all Democrats as they try to make sure they're holding on to Congress in the upcoming midterms. But at the same point, I mean, we've seen this war continue on. We've seen the pressure continue. Clearly, there's a lot of bipartisan support for Ukraine. We're going to be seeing another funding request come through, $10 billion for humanitarian aid and military aid to Ukraine. We're expecting that to be considered next week as Congress prepares to fund the government, to give the White House that amount of money as well. There's a lot of support for this, and I think the pressure is just going to continue on Biden to do something about banning the U.S. purchase of Russian oil.
Emily, thank you. That pressure's building. Emily Wilkins in Washington, Maria Tadeo in Brussels today. Tom, for most people, last night was an escalation, a step up of risk. How do NATO members respond? That's where things start to get difficult. If you believe in what the French president was said to believe after that call with the Russian president yesterday, that things are going to get worse before they get better, what's the next move from European allies? What does it look like?
The next move for me, and we're not NATO members, John, but within the politics of this, I've listened to experienced military authorities, as we have with General Hodges and General Kimmich. Both of them were grim, which means you have to apply material to the threat. That's what I would look for next. NATO supplying Ukraine in a huge way.
So that's a strategic military decision, Tom. Are sanctions part of the next move too? And what's the step up step-up in sanctions look like?
What does Europe do in terms of hydrocarbons? Aren't we back to square one?
We are, Tom, in a big way. Tom Keane, Lisa Bravitt and Jonathan Ferro, futures down about 1% on the S&P. Yields in 7 basis points. We're lower to 176.83 and crude at 110 at more than 2%. This is Bloomberg.
So yeah, gang, we just went over this. This is going to affect all of us. As Biden is in the United States, we're going to aid Ukraine with this. As I guess this is a war. We don't know what to really call this. I don't want to really call it a war. They're saying it's a war. Like this is like a war about to happen. So with this happening, every day, this is the second week of this war with Russia and Ukraine. This is affecting the market. This is affecting us. This is affecting us. As gas prices is about to go back up. To fund this war. That's what's about to happen. Prices is about to go back up. We're going to be seeing a lot of different policies being passed because of all of this. So, my best advice for you is just to save your money as we go towards the winter time, because the winter time is right around the corner. The winter time is right around the corner. That's what we have to understand. That winter time is right around the corner. Prices is about to start going back up again. So we have to be on top of this. We have to be aware of this. This is why we're going over fundamental news, so we can be aware of what's going on globally, economically, how it's affecting us, how it's affecting the market, as we trade in the market, gang. We trade in the market. This affects us in the market, so we have to be on top of this. So we're gonna go over a few more topics about what's going on economically, globally, with Ukraine and Russia, and as far as United States is concerned, we're gonna go over a few more, and I'll keep you updated on this game. But we're gonna go over a few more on this. In the next video, we're gonna go over fundamental news more. We're gonna go over news more about this, and dive in and see what's going on as we start this next week of March and into the future, until into the future of the rest of this year. So I hope this helps, gang. And I'll drop. We're gonna go over a little bit more, and fast forward some of this, as you're going to be talking about oil and sanctions. We're going to fast forward a little bit more into this, and really dive in a little bit more into this. So I hope this helps, gang. All right, so it's your boy Nature, aka Nature Gang.